Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bladensburg, Town of Bladensburg. That is council work session for Monday, July 13th, 2026. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching online or took the time to brave the heat and join us in person. Glad to have you here. We are now called to order. The next item on the agenda for today is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any corrections or amendments to the agenda before calling the vote? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved as presented. Next on the agenda, we'll move down to the approval of meeting minutes for Monday, June 8th work session. Is there a motion to approve? Not all at once.
So moved.
Moved by
second.
Councilmember McBride. Is there a second?
I second, Madam Mayor.
Second. Oh, thank you. Seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any corrections or comments regarding the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The meeting minutes for June 8th are approved. Tonight, we don't have any items under unfinished business, so we'll proceed into new business, beginning with item E regarding 52nd Avenue update, and I'll turn it over to the town administrator at this time.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before we jump in, I just wanted to take note. Obviously, you can see our finance director is not here this evening. He had a family emergency come up this afternoon, which required him to head out a little bit early. But he just wanted me to make sure everybody was aware, and when we get to the council meeting portion of the evening, I'll just share a couple of updates from him. With that noted, the next topic is 52nd Avenue update. Unfortunately, this afternoon it was made known that SHA was going to be unavailable to come this evening. So that does alter our plan a little bit, but I did want to provide a few updates to council about where we are since our last conversation on June 8th, which stemmed from a pretty robust meeting back in May with SHA. Just a very brief overview for those that might be watching. This part of the street is or was part of a pilot project a few years ago, or a couple of years ago. We're now at a point trying to determine what the best path moving forward is, and it was temporarily turned into a one-way road. There was a substantial amount of work that needed to be done just to maintain it. I want to take a moment to thank our team and SHA for a tremendous effort that took place starting last Thursday, July 9th, and then continued on Friday, July 10th, and then continued today on July 13th of a joint cleanup along 52nd Avenue. They braved the heat and realigned barriers. Thank you to SHA for coming back out on Friday and putting up the flexi. What am I trying to think of? Yeah, flexi poles. Thank you. Which look fantastic. They cut down a tremendous amount of shrubbery, removed that trash was collected, and just this afternoon I was driving up there and I saw a number of people walking that road again, and so I just wanted to say thank you to our team and to SHA for making that joint effort possible. It really was much needed, and I know that the residents in that area truly appreciate it, and anybody that traverses that road. So next points, we shared with SHA a draft MOU And for transparency, one of the things that we were calling for, and I think we heard loud and clear from the joint meeting, was while this is a state-owned road, to get us to the point of redesign and effectuating the permanent transition to a one-way road, we're about 2 years out. So what is the plan moving forward? And I think we're kind of at a crossroads of, do we remove the barriers completely, or do we continue with this program while we're trying to await the final design? So I think while there are a number of different options, one of the things that we used as a starting point was quarterly joint cleanups. I think we saw how effective they were. After speaking with Derek last week, after he reviewed the draft MOU, I know that their team is spread pretty thin. There was some concern about whether or not that would be feasible. I think Purnell would agree one of the things that was most beneficial and something that we are desperately in need of are some of the equipment that they have. And so I think we're still trying to hammer out what those details will be exactly. But I think the effort this past week shows that there are some opportunities to work together to move forward. So we don't know exactly what that will look like. We hope to have a draft response from them over the next couple of weeks. It's with their in-house attorneys right now. So, that's something that we're going to continue to hammer through over the next several weeks to bring back to you. But just wanted to give you guys kind of an update on where we were, the effort that both teams, the town and the state, made, and figuring out what the next steps will be as we move forward.
Thank you for that update. And after you let me know they couldn't make it, I want to confirm Senator Augustine said he will plan to come to that next meeting when SHA is here. So, and he was glad to hear that there's been progress with conversations. So I think having him as part of that in September will be really helpful. But any comments or questions from the council before we move on? Councilmember Dixon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brian, did they mention when the MOU will be ready?
Yes, so long before September. So it's with legal right now. He hopes to have a draft back to us within the next couple of weeks. So we'll look over it. Definitely we'll update council since we have our retreat coming up. Hope to have some updates by then. I think the benefit also of, unfortunately, this being pushed back, but one of the benefits is they also hope to have a 30% complete design to present to council as well of the redesign of 52nd Street in September. So we'll kind of hopefully have a 2-for-1 then.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Councilmember Brown, you had a comment or question?
Thanks. I was going to ask the same thing about the MOU, and hopefully we can, get it in time enough to review and look over it and make our comments and stuff. But yeah.
Absolutely. I'm pushing. I did make it clear when our retreat was, so really trying to have something for us to respond to by then. So, agreed.
That is all good. And we'll look forward to that conversation coming up in September. But now for another engaging conversation, Councilmember Blunt, it's over to the Port Towns bus operations, which I know you are very passionate about.
Yes.
And from the update in the packet, it sounds like there's been some interesting conversations. It's really not the Port Towns bus anymore. It's becoming more of the Bladensburg bus. But, so I'll turn it over to the administrator for the update.
It wasn't working, but I was like, say something, but I couldn't say anything, so.
It's all right. That's why we're here. You have the mic.
Do you want to lead off?
Actually, you can.
Your mic's not on, council member.
No, actually, you can start off and then I'll push my way in.
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, sounds good. So I think the mayor kind of teed it up perfectly. This several years ago was a joint effort, collaboration with all of the port towns. I think we're on bus number 2 now, and it's kind of nearing end of life. So it was a great collaborative effort. I think some of the other towns, the participation has decreased dramatically. I think we were analyzing, the last year or so of ridership, and it's about 95% Bladensburg usage. Comar Manor has a resident or two that hops on, but it is definitely being utilized heaviest by us. We do all of the coordination of the scheduling. We house the bus, and really right now Comar Manor is really just doing the administrative piece, and the 2 part-time drivers are on their payroll. So what we had a conversation about was understanding those realities. Does it still make sense for Comar Manor to administer this program, or does it make more sense for Bladensburg to take full ownership of the bus, of the 2 part-time personnel, and save the 10% administrative fee that we are currently paying Comar Manor? They are eager, I would say, to have this kind of transition over. I think one of the logistical pieces that we spoke about was whatever the value of the bus currently is, we could figure out a way to rectify those payments, whether it's with in-kind rides for the Comar Manor residents for X amount of months, or until that value of the bus is paid off. They're flexible there, and there's some wiggle room. I think the other piece to this is it does give us even more flexibility about how we want to use the bus moving forward, both scheduling, and we would still theoretically make it available to the other Port Town communities. But it does give us more flexibility as a community to determine what and how we want to use it. I think the other side is this gives us a little bit of a runway. I'd estimate we probably have 12 to 18 months of life left in that bus, with a few repairs here and there. So thinking about what do we want to do next. We did receive a grant this year for replacement of a couple of vehicles. Unfortunately, I think we might have glossed over the fine print and the stipulations around the tonnage of the bus that we would have to purchase would require CDL. It would probably be bigger than what we would actually need. So we'll go back to the drawing board on that, but this gives us some runway and some flexibility. So I bring it to council as I promised the town manager I would do, and have this kind of conversation and see where we want to go from here.
Thank you for the update. And Councilmember Blunt, if you would also chime in, please.
Yeah, I was shocked to know that we were paying them anything, honestly. That's just, I was shocked we were paying them anything. But the $60,000, maybe I'm not understanding, what is that used for?
Can you speak to what that goes to directly?
Sure. So that goes towards predominantly the riders. We're essentially we pay per rider right now, even though it comes back to us in a sense. That also pays for maintenance, gas, and for the 2 part-time drivers.
But, so Comar Manor doesn't pay for the drivers, we pay for the driver.
Correct.
So, but what money was,
Well, that's not all of the driver's salary, but that's the majority of it, yes.
but we pay for that?
Yes,
And because they were administering, handling all the paperwork,
right.
that's where the administrative fee came in that was paid to Comar Manor at the time. This was, I think, before any of us got on the council. It's just, that's how it was set up. They would facilitate, you call that number, they schedule, they are responsible for scheduling the rides to pick up the seniors, and then they're responsible for communicating with the drivers and scheduling them. I don't believe we've ever had dispatch responsibilities.
Well, we didn't. I just didn't know we
Okay.
was paying them a fee until I heard it. But also, the money that the residents pay, where did that money go to?
So that goes towards the ride itself, but it's such a nominal fee, it doesn't actually typically cover the overall cost of,
Because per person, we're paying what,
I think it's,
30 or 40 per ride or something?
Correct, yes.
So if they pay $2 or $3, it's
Right.
not, it's something,
yeah,
but
it
it's
doesn't-
not covering the full amount.
And I guess maybe I'm still understanding. We're paying third. I guess if you look at how much it costs, like as we said through COVID, what we were paying for the ride, but it's just the numbers just doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense. I mean, so who collects the money?
So right now, Comar Manor is collecting the money as part of their administrative process.
So they keep the money. They keep that money plus 10%.
So they're using that money to pay for the bus drivers, like their salary, and for any maintenance above and beyond. Typically, we'll have to go into our pockets if, maintenance required over a certain percentage or dollar amount.
That means the drivers are basically employed by Colmar Manor?
They're on Comar Manor's payroll.
Okay.
So
And if Bladensburg,
60.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Councilman.
the 60,000. Okay, no, go ahead. Make it make sense to me, that's all.
So if we become the primary for the bus, are we going to be employing these drivers?
We would take
By the
that on as a
town?
responsibility, yes.
And also the bus is going to be replaced within 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think that's a guesstimation on the life expectancy of the current bus. Whether we decide to replace it, whether we decide to discontinue the program altogether, I think that's kind of the decision point, but one that we don't have to necessarily make tonight, but that's, the medium-term discussion that will have to be had.
And I think the benefit is we can get better control over these rides because honestly, by us not having the dispatch piece of it, we don't know what's being used, how many trips until the administrator gets the bill, reviews everything, and is signing off on them. And I just think it goes back to something Councilmember Blunt, you said a couple years ago, which was we should be more strategic and say, on this day, this is where the bus goes. On this day, it goes here, because it's wasteful to
Yes, it
have 2 or
is.
3 people on there and taking it here, there, and everywhere and racking up those per person fees. I think we have to cut back. We've talked about budget constraints. We can't afford to keep doing this. And when you look at the number of people being served, there's other things that could be done with that money. And remember, you even brought up Uber. What if we did, what do you call them, Uber passes instead of that? I think another option is, and like you said, we've got time to figure out the next step, but another option is we have transportation companies right here in the business park. We could easily contract with them to say, twice a week, we need you to handle
Monday,
senior
right,
rides.
yeah.
And then we're not dealing with vehicle maintenance, we're not dealing with
Employees.
part-time employees, payroll expenses, and all the rest. And they're professionals at this, so and they're great when we use them for town events. So I feel like we could explore that.
Right.
So my ask would be, Councilmember Blunt, if you wouldn't mind working with the town administrator on this to put something together to say, based on what you see at the senior, resident level, what is appropriate in terms of what this service could be?
And I did do that already. 'cause
Okay.
I know that the senior transportation would take them anywhere they need to go within Prince George's County, and that's free. So it's not, I mean, they're not losing there. They can have transportation there. Except for they do want to go to the casinos and stuff. I'm against it. I'm against it. So that's just me. I'm against them going gambling. That's just me though. But I'd rather go your route, because Emerson House, that bus can pull up in front of Emerson House, drop one person off, turn around and come back and drop two off, then go back, come back at Emerson House about 7 times. Make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, and I know Coleman Manor wants no control of it at all.
Right.
I kind of heard him say, "No, y'all take it over." I heard that come out of the administrative mouth. So my thing, I think is, I like the other way, because we don't have to pay. That $60,000 can be used
Reduced.
for something else.
And Councilmember Blunt, I don't know if everyone caught it, but the other service that she mentioned is the bus. The bus.
It's free.
Is the one
It's
that
free.
is free.
It's free.
It goes all across the county. So to your point,
I posted it
even
too
if
on
we
social
have to
media.
scale back this resource, we're not leaving the seniors without.
No,
these
you're
services,
not.
Because that's already a service that.
Yeah,
they
Mike,
have access to.
Mayor Mike.
Sorry, Mr. Gray. I didn't push the button hard enough. My apologies. But I was just tagging on to say what Councilmember Blunt mentioned was a service called The Bus, which is prevalent in Prince George's County. So if we have to reduce services with this formerly called Port Towns Bus, at least there's still a service available to the seniors, and that's actually free. Whereas with ours, it's subsidized. They pay a few dollars, and the town pays the rest. So
I agree. I totally agree with going the route with Mayor James in terms of contracting someone, which costs less. And not only that, looking at replacing the bus 12 to 18 months. What is the bus going to cost? That's another thing. Can the town afford a new bus right now?
I just don't think they should even try.
Or you can get a grant too.
And Vito brought this up before in terms of your question about the replacement. So we did get the MEA grant for an electric bus, but it's a formula, so it doesn't cover everything. It covers up to, what is it, the cost of what a combustion engine bus would be?
Never quite that.
The fine print.
Yeah, the fine print. It's 75% of the additional cost of an EV. So let's say a traditional bus cost $100,000. Let's just, for conversation's sake, and an EV bus cost $200,000. The grant would pay the $75,000, which is 75% of the difference. So the town would still be on the hook for $125,000. So beneficial in some respects, but we also found out other fine print pieces. The categories of buses that are available, it's really looking at larger vehicles that require CDL licenses, and both Public Works
that's money.
and the current bus drivers that we have right now don't have CDL licenses.
Okay, we really don't want to leave the seniors stranded or anything like that. We want to make sure, that we're providing services to the residents of Bladensburg. But at the same time, we want to be careful how we are spending.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you said, we don't want to leave them without services, but the bus is there and it's
Right,
free.
the bus is there.
They're not out of service, because a lot of Metro Access, that also
Right.
takes them wherever they want to go. I mean, so they're not left out of any services at all. And that's
Well,
the
if
good
it's-
thing about the transportation. Now, I just get rid of it. I mean, honestly, that's just what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because I can't understand that 60,000, and they're paying, and then he doesn't. Well, I know Coleman Manor probably listening. They don't want to pay for nothing. I agree. I'm just sorry I had to say
Well,
it.
I think, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just had to say it.
Okay, Councilmember Councilmember Brown, then I'll go to McBride and then back to Mr.
Okay.
Wood. She was waiting for the.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. But yeah, because we've been talking about this for a while, and it's like, make it make sense, and probably initially when the agreement, came into place, it did make
was a
sense.
different time.
But now, because, as we had discussed before, it's like, you have companies here, and and they have different size buses, and and I don't know if if we'll talk about that too. But one week we may need the big bus, and next week we may need only a 10-passenger bus. I mean, just having that flexibility, working with the company that's their business. This is what they do. So that makes sense. And like you said, we're not leaving our seniors, we're not leaving them, stranded or whatever without transportation. And stuff. Yes, absolutely. And it would provide better service, I believe to the residents. And then from a budget standpoint, it would, take that piece off of our books, off of books or reduction, and I think that's, would be wise. But although we're just kind of having a conversation about it right now, but
And one thing that you said, Councilmember, kind of sparked a thought. Would it even be possible if we had some sort of public-private partnership with a transportation company? So we say, we've gotten this grant, could we pass it through to them so they pay the difference toward the vehicle? So we're essentially donating the $75,000, let's say, and then they pay the difference because it's helping their fleet regardless, and giving them greater flexibility because it is an EV, and then work out some sort of contractual partnership for X number of years, and then we revisit it after that point. So that's where I'm going. Save the town money, still be able to help the residents. We don't want to give back grant money to the state because that you can get dinged when you go to apply the next time. So I don't want to lose that, but maybe there's a path forward that just doesn't have us paying for this and, not using those resources more wisely.
Yeah, because that fine print there it does, it's still costing the town more money. So.
Councilmember McBride, thank you for waiting your turn.
Thank you. My only question is, so this is supposed to service the seniors? Or can it service the different apartment complexes inside of Bladensburg?
If they're senior.
As long as they're seniors, I mean.
Traditionally, Sean and Purnell, you're going to have to help me, but I think it was more so geared towards seniors.
Yes, it was.
And I think there may have been special circumstances where if there was a town event and we needed transportation, then we could reach out and ask them to pick up people. But the way it was set up with the 4 towns back in the day was primarily for seniors.
For seniors, okay. I had a question. Never mind. I'll hold that.
Okay.
But
Mayor?
like when I found out that they were not paying to get on the bus, I was very upset. I had to call Miss Blue. Y'all know I like to say names. Miss Blue, and let her know why did her senior club didn't think that they had to pay. It didn't. Oh, well, we was told. No, I don't know who told y'all that because y'all have to pay like everybody else because you're riding the bus. Because she was under understanding by Coma Manor that they didn't have to pay. So they started paying.
Go ahead, Councilmember Brown.
Yeah.
Because it was under their membership.
And
It just
And to that point with Councilmember McBride, once we look at it and restructure it or something, it may be able to, like I said, with special events, occasions, and to put some modifications in there where it can kind of service, some of the other buildings in the town as well. That's all.
Yeah, that's going to have to be really restricted because.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Hall.
That's like you said.
Microphone.
That's gonna be a tricky thing.
Microphone.
So you can tell him no, but you can tell him. So I think that's why when it came out years and years ago, it was strictly appointed to seniors.
Makes sense. And Mr. Wood,
Well, I was just
sorry.
going to say, so a couple of things. One, this would have greater flexibility because when it was initially purchased, it was used, I believe state money was used. And so the requirements and covenants around it required that it be used predominantly for seniors. But when we purchased the second bus, it was with local dollars. And so there's greater flexibility and those requirements no longer apply. So if the town were to take over ownership, we would be able to do with it as we desired. I think there would be a desire to, keep with some spirit if the other communities, all of a sudden ridership spiked and they wanted, then that would be something to look at. And then two, I think to the point that the mayor made a while back about Uber and other ride shares. I was at a conference a few years ago, and I know that there are some communities that have done that and set up various different structures with Uber and other types where individuals over a certain age can get X amount of dollars, or an Uber will take you within X amount of miles of a community for free. Or, there's a number of different arrangements. So if that's something that the town wanted to look at, we wouldn't be the first community to do that. And they have an infrastructure set up to partner with municipal organizations to set things like that up. So just wanted to.
But I know we've been on this for a long time, but they will have like a sit back, because some Uber drivers do not help you with your packages, and seniors need help. And I see they don't help with the wheelchairs, the walkers. They don't help. They just, it's crazy, but it's up to the. Yeah, so that's the only thing I would say.
So, Brian, what if Coleman Manor decided to withdraw before we come to some conclusion? And my other part question.
The ship has sailed.
And my other question is, who covers the insurance for the bus? Is it the town or Coleman Manor?
Currently, Colmar Manor covers the insurance
Okay.
that's built into.
Okay.
Again, all of it is kind of prorated based on usage. So there's the aggregate cost, and then per ride it's broken down. So we're still paying for a significant portion of the insurance. And to your first point, if Colmar Manor, I'm not saying they basically said that they're walking away, but they
Sounds that way.
they basically said they're walking away. So, yeah.
But are they paying for the insurance, or are we paying for the insurance?
So the insurance is, technically with
Yeah.
Colmar Manor, but the aggregate cost of the bus per year is broken down per rider, and so we're still paying for a significant portion of the insurance. We're just paying it through the per ride cost.
Right.
So that's part of the 60,000.
If I get that $60,000, still not making sense to me.
Yeah, so I think because we could
Yeah,
talk about this in
exactly.
circles. I think we're at the point where there's agreement that we want to reevaluate this because we don't think it's the best use of town dollars.
Yep.
Getting it under the town's realm of responsibility makes sense while we're figuring out with Councilmember Blunt a path forward. Phasing it out is certainly an option, given we have the bus, but also an option is pursuing the grant and possibility of partnering with a local business to see if that's even possible. If the answer is no, then we just have to send a letter to MEA saying we can't accept the grant, due to financial constraints. We
wanna do
can't
that.
keep our commitment and just, again, move forward with consolidating this down and collapsing the service, because it's just extremely expensive. So I think that's where we are in terms of when you send us the summary from the meeting, there's agreement that we cannot continue. It's not you, it's us.
So I'll draft up a formal process with Colmar Manor about how we're going to execute this and bring that before. It would have to go before both councils. So.
Thank you.
Councilmember Blunt for the last word.
I like the idea that you said, because for the lack of not saying anything else, we're done with that process.
I second
let's
that
do
one.
something. Let's just do something new. We're done with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. There was a higher demand at the time. That demand just isn't there anymore to justify the cost. So, yeah. We have young seniors who are driving themselves around and they're walking through the community and all of that. So we have to get with the times. All right. So speaking of getting with the times, PAL's project poster presentation is next up on the agenda. I'll turn it over to you, Town Administrator Wood.
Yeah, so they've been making their way around the port towns. They were supposed to come up to us next. The boards have, they've disappeared. We'll find them. Not from us. They were recently with Cottage City. But are you guys familiar with the PALS project that took place? I guess it was last semester, so last spring. And some of the designs for the Port Town communities. Maybe not. Okay, so a recap of what the PALS project is and what they do. So the PALS project is a partnership with the University of Maryland, and they work with undergrad and graduate students on a number of different projects, right? So towns, municipalities, yep, all across the state can submit to for the PALS project for them to do any number of things. It can be something like we had. They can do engineering. They can do statistical analysis, budget breakdowns, and they have students work on these projects throughout the semester. Each project typically costs about $10,000. And part of that goes towards the cost of executing the project, whether they need to purchase data sets, if there's travel required for the students, whatever they may be. And then part of that goes to offset the administrative cost for their advisor, whether that's a professor or whomever it may be. One of the projects that was grant funded last year was the placemaking and design for the Port Towns communities at different, I guess you could say, prominent locations in each community that connected each of the communities. So for us, we had a couple of different bridges. And so what it was I'm thinking about how do we denote this as a Port Town community. And so they designed these kind of beautiful pocket parks with similar colors of yellow, orange, purple, and blue, I believe it was. And each community had a slightly different design and a different location, but it created the through line that these were all Port Town communities. There's some beautiful renderings that are on posters that we were supposed to get tonight. Unfortunately, they're not here. But the reason that it's also kind of time sensitive is we received grant funding again from the state, and part of what BCCE was looking at was, do we want to invest some of those dollars into the next phase of this placemaking and these designs, which would be kind of the engineering aspect of it, and understanding what the fabrication of these types of pocket parks would cost. We know that each one would be, north of probably $100,000, but this would be the next step in that process. And so, that PALS project would probably be a little bit more expensive, closer to $30,000. But again, it's grant funded and would kind of be that through line. There's quite a bit of interest in it. So what I would propose is for the visuals to you to actually be able to see what was done by these young people, which was quite impressive, is to bring that to the retreat so that you guys will be able to see that. Each town is kind of talking about the elements that they liked, what they may not like, and so that will go into the input as we prepare the next PALS request for this fall. Hopefully
Thank you for that overview. Any questions or comments for the town administrator? I think we look forward to seeing the visuals at the retreat. Councilmember Dixon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In regards to this pilot project, what services the town has to offer? Does it have to provide public works, public safety, or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Completely. So the next phase would be completely done by the students. This would be for us. It's actually in a public location already, something that we already take care of. This would just be a redesign.
How is this figure determined?
The $30,000 or the
Yeah.
That's not in the packet. I think what you're looking at is for the Hamlet Woods project, the next item. We're not there yet. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I think.
Almost there, almost there. A couple more items.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, we will get to that.
All right. So if there are no more questions, we can drop down, get closer to it under town manager's report.
Yep. Yeah, so we can jump down to that.
Oh, yeah.
So the pilot program. There's a briefing in your packet there. So the Hamlet Woods project.
That's the one I was talking.
Yep. So this has been one that has been ongoing for a number of years now. I think they originally came to the town almost this time last year with a proposal for payment in lieu. Just to rehash, this is 59 units of workforce housing that will be available. And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're going to be ready mid-August?
Mid-August. Actually, I rode through the property today. They're probably, I'd say, 85% complete. They're working on the last section, and mid-August is when their final grand opening is supposed to be.
Okay. So they are well on their way and well past substantial completion at this point, which is very exciting. This gives a breakdown of kind of where the funding came from. There's been significant investment from the state, from the county, and private dollars. What they were looking for is essentially a payment in lieu of taxes. They received a similar deal or structured a similar deal with the county, which was essentially a 50% reduction in their overall tax rate. And they have now come to the town asking for or proposing something similar. What we have before us is two different options. What was proposed by Hamlet Woods was essentially $500 per unit. And so, sorry, let me back up a little bit. So looking at the assessed value, and this folds into the recommendation that I have. These are based on 2023 numbers, and so it was estimated that the project would be assessed at approximately almost $8 million, $7,972,000. What was proposed was again $500 per unit as a pilot with an escalator of 2% at the 1, 10, 20, and 30-year mark. What we countered at, or what we're proposing to counter at, is a $600 per unit starting threshold with the same escalator. And so it essentially breaks down to the structure that they had with the county is about a 50% reduction. They're asking for essentially the same thing from the town. The numbers that are proposed here are closer to 43% reduction, which is still fairly favorable. And the reason I think there's value in what the town is proposing is it goes back to the original assessed value dollar that these numbers are generated off of, which are 2023. We all know that the assessed value since 2023 has gone up significantly more. We estimate that the value is probably closer to $10 to $12 million at this point, which would, if we were to restructure this deal in today's terms, would dramatically increase the per unit cost versus what you see here. So a 43% structured deal is still, I think, better than if they were to go out and do a market assessment today. And even if we agreed to 50%, it would still probably be higher than what we're proposing here. So that's the broad strokes of it. Sue Ellen, and part of the reason that this took a year to get to this point is Sue Ellen had to dig through the state code defined where we would be able to actually do this. The language that was used at the county level was specific to the county and did not allow municipalities to set up a pilot program. And so there was a great deal of digging that was involved, and obviously with a number of other things that were on our town attorney's plate, this kept getting pushed back, but we did eventually find it, or she did eventually find it. So that's what's here before you. There is a little bit of a clock, given the status of the project at this point. But I wanted to bring this up for conversation and discussion, and then we would use that as the final framework. And again, with a desire not to push this off to September, if we had the final framework, if this is what council was okay with, we would draft this and do a final vote at the retreat, if that's something that council wished to do.
So thank you for that overview of the pilot project. Council, any comments or questions regarding the proposed payment? I have a few, but go ahead, Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brian, in regards to what happened if a property is sold to another owner? How would that affect on the pilot? Would it be, does the pilot still stay in effect?
Great question. That would be language that would be included in the contract. Typically, it stays with the property, not the owners, in my experience.
And this is a full 30 years, right?
Correct.
Okay. And did you mention how does the 600 unit figure determine? Did you mention that? Oh, it was determined?
So the $600 unit, $600 per unit, to be honest, was determined before I got here, but it is essentially, the idea behind it was to kind of find a middle ground between what Hamlet Woods was proposing, which was 50%, reducing it but still allowing the project to go forward. And I think at the time when it was originally proposed, they had built their financial model around receiving a certain level of relief in taxes. And so, so this is, I think, is that attempt at meeting the middle ground.
And so, Councilmember, this is to tag on to that. So when they came to the meeting a year or two ago, they were specifically advocating for more financial support from the town. We did not agree to that. We said we could be open and discuss what the town could do, but they were trying to get their financing together. So the numbers you see here about how their financing is stacked through Prince George's County Housing Investment Trust Fund loan, all those things, those loans that you see in the first paragraph, that those are the things that they worked on to line up their financing.
Okay.
And then in going to the county passed legislation CR-036 2023, giving them authority to also give them that 50% tax relief. And so given that the county's budget is not Bladensburg's budget, so we cannot afford a 50%, reduction in that revenue from taxes. I think what Vito and Mr. Wood put together here, compromising, saying we can't go as low as 500, we could potentially consider 600 per unit, because now our services have increased. This is a rental. Sorry, my sinuses are on 1,000 right now. The services that the town is offering are not what they cost 2 or 3 years ago. That's one. Number two, we're now doing apartment rental inspections that are led by code enforcement. That is another level of service that we're providing. Typically, whenever there's multifamily housing in the town, cost for service for public safety goes up. Same thing for emergency services for the fire department. So the reason we can't go as low as what they're asking for in this first column is because those services come at a cost to us, and we can't provide them at a deficit. And so I think, and Vito, he's good with these numbers. Mr. Tonelli, I think and Mr. Wood did a good job of saying, what we can do is offer you 2% for years 1 through 10. We can go up to 3% for, years 11 through 20, and then the escalation would be 4% for years 21 to 30. And then they just broke out, here's what we would get over the 30 years on our formula versus their formula. Our formula, yes, they would be paying 1.5, almost 1.6. But when you look at the services that they're getting over 30 years, it more than justifies us coming in at that rate to negotiate. Does that sort of
Yeah.
help?
Thanks.
And the other, absolutely everything that the mayor said, and typically these are agreed to at the outset, and so that's why you see all the breakdown of where they're receiving the dollar amounts, because normally this kind of looks more like a credit enhancement agreement, and so that helps with the lending on the private side to see that government entities are backing this project. So I think that was the original thought, but they were still able to get the financing needed to make this project a reality.
So will it cover the public safety and code enforcement?
Overall,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no. But any new development
So,
typically doesn't. That's, yeah, when you're looking long-term, that's why you always want that balance of businesses and other things that are not going to drive up calls for service versus certain residential. And
Thank you. Back to you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And just to clarify, though, when you say it won't cover services, so with the owner proposed amount, that would not be enough
No.
to justify the services that we would still have to provide. We'd be operating at a deficit. So at least we're coming in
Gets us much closer.
flat. It's not a revenue generator, obviously, but at least it helps to cover those services for the apartment inspections annually, any work that has to be done by Public Works, the public safety services that they're going to get. And even, we contribute to the fire department to help offset their expenses. And so ambulance runs, fire truck runs, all of that, we're helping to just cover ourselves with those investments, so.
Thank you so much. That will give the residents more clarity. Thanks.
I think so. Any other comments or questions from Ward 2 council members? It's been a long time coming, so it's good to see they're getting closer to actually completing the construction. I will admit, I snuck up in there, 'cause curiosity. I had to see it. I was like, it's supposed to be ready this summer.
Yeah.
And they're close. They're close. So I look forward to the grand opening. And then Mr. Wood, so for this, for a formal vote from council, do we have this on the 7 o'clock agenda, or do we need to amend it to add this for approval, or does it need to go back to Sue Ellen first?
No, so there is specific language that Sue Ellen and a couple of pieces that Sue Ellen and Vito are finalizing. So I pulled it from the 7 o'clock agenda. I have a draft resolution, but I want to make sure it's right. So it will come back before you. But now that I know that this is exactly what council is good with, we can memorialize that in the resolution.
And then the only challenge is, I know they are very anxious to get decisions sooner rather than later, but typically anything financial, the council has to vote on at the 7 p.m. council meeting. So
Can't do it.
not unless we did a separate meeting, but that's why we don't do financial decisions in the work session. It's always in the actual council meeting. So just want you to be mindful of that so we can figure out if there's a separate meeting that we need to call, even if it's via Zoom, to resolve this. We wouldn't be able to do it at a retreat. It would have to be a formal meeting that's called to, address that.
Okay.
And not a work session, an actual
Meeting.
council meeting.
Okay.
Just want to mention
Good
that.
to know. Thank
Yep.
you.
No worries. And while you're off mute, did you want to touch on the next, the previous item, the Gloves Up, Guns Down grant?
Yes, sorry, I skipped over that. Just wanted to provide council an update. We're really excited with the progress. There was a kickoff in June. There is a camp coming up in, it's the first week of. Thank you, yes. I was like, wait a minute, blank dates are all, blurring together. So we know that this has been a labor of love, so a major thanks to the chief, to Alicia, who's been kind of spearheading it, to our county partners and other municipal partners in merging this with some funding that we received from the state, a grant for $78,000, and for all of the volunteers that have gone through the fingerprinting process to participate with our young people. Just to give an update, it will be twice a week, starting in, I believe, September. And we're hoping to have a total of, I believe it's 80 young people, 40 people, Greg, 40 people.
Right now, there's 19 signed up.
Microphone, chief.
Yes, right now, there's 19 youth that are signed up, and there's 6 additional spots, so I think they're doing 25.
Oh, 25. Okay, sorry. I was like, 80 sounds like a lot. 25. Half at the, why am I blanking? I'm thinking Stadium Armory, but it's not Stadium Armory. The Salvation Army, thank you. And the other half of the students will be at the county. The idea is that obviously those that are specific Bladensburg residents would be here at the Salvation Army. Obviously, it's a little bit closer, and so we're excited about the progress that that this program is making, and just wanted to know if there are any specific questions that council might have that we'd be able to bring back and answer, or any discussions.
Perfect. Thank you for that overview. Chief Frischkorn, any additional context you want to add to that?
Yes, just that the boxing clinic is going to be from the 27th to the 31st at the Salvation Army, and then the year-round program is going to start September 14th and run until June 30th of 27. We're going to be using Prince George's County Police Department District 3 as one location, and over here on Edmonston Road at the Salvation Army, and then there's also a gym that we'll be using for the program itself.
Is the District 3 location Barlow Road, or is
Yes.
that? Okay, got it. Any questions from the council? Councilmember Brown?
Thank you. So, interim chief, so give me those dates again. You said September
September 14th, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. That's the
okay.
actual program.
okay.
The clinic
okay.
starts next week. That's going to be just the boxing clinic itself, but the program runs a year long.
Okay.
What are the age group, chief?
I'm not sure of what age it starts at. I know when we went for the kickoff at the PAL program, there were really young kids up to, I think up to 18. So we had the kickoff for this and the registration at the PAL boxing program that the county had.
What percentage of young people from Bladensburg signed up, do you know?
I don't know the percentage.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank
Councilmember
you,
Brown?
Mayor. And transportation, their parents will be responsible for transporting them?
Yes, we're not transporting them.
Okay.
Councilmember Blunt?
Have you all had the pleasure to meet Sherry Leonard?
That was my question.
I haven't, but I know that they've been in talks to have him and some others talk to the kids. I went on a tour of the Salvation Army, which I met the staff down there. It was nice. And then I went up to the gym where they're doing it at, and the guy that's running the gym seems like he's perfect for this, to work with the youth. They have a lot of experience.
Can we just be notified if there's Sugar Ray Leonard sightings, or if he's coming to a particular session? I felt something over here when that question was raised, so we need to make sure.
I went to school with them.
Okay, gotcha.
You know how old I am.
The Salvation Army, a big space for this? Like the space is kind of,
Pastor.
oh,
We're going to set up the ring
Okay. Oh, my mic is on.
You couldn't hear the chief, Mr. Gray? No?
Chief, they couldn't hear you. Can you repeat?
The light.
Can you repeat everything?
Bags and the ring set up in there. And that's just one of the couple locations.
Exciting times, and just look forward to the impact of giving kids an alternative activity, something that's productive, and teaching them not to resort to violence in the street, just, putting that energy somewhere productive. So look forward to being able to come and check it out once it gets underway. At this time, so Chief was saying there's a clinic coming up, and then after that, the actual session starts in September. Do you want to give those dates one more time, Chief?
Yes, the clinic is the 27th of this month until the 31st at the Salvation Army. And then the program itself is September 14th, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. And the times for that's 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
For about 27 in September?
The
What time is that?
14th of September through June 30th of 2027.
What's the time for this month, the 27th?
The 27th, let me check, I have the,
It might be in the report, because I think you had
have it.
information about it in your monthly report, Chief.
yes, I have the flyer, my computer's
Okay.
not bringing it up.
All right, we will get that information to you. We're going to keep moving. The next item is under financial business for consideration for the council tonight is the decisions for grant and scholarship program recommendation. So with that, we'll turn it back over to the town administrator.
All right, I will not speak too much on this. This is more for council, and I believe there should be an Excel spreadsheet in your binders. So this is bringing back the conversation we had in June around a number of our grant applicants, and the recommendation from Ray was that this year the 3 applicants that applied for the educational scholarship did not necessarily meet the criteria. So we could roll that money into this pot, which would take the total amount available for grants to $15,000, which would leave us about $3,000 shy of the total request if all 9 applicants were funded at approximately $2,000. So we just did a little rubric as a conversational piece for you guys, and I will turn it over.
So we've been looking. Appreciate the rubric. One thing that I wanted to note is one of the groups, I know they scored a 3.7, but I would consider swapping out GHEP with Good Intentions, because Good Intentions is based in the port towns. We did get to see their youth program in action last year, and they really made a huge difference in the lives of those teenagers. I mean, things that we take for granted were very impactful for them. Just thinking about when they took the kids out on the river and how many of them grew up in this area and never even had been in that kind of experience and got to see their community in a whole different way and opened up to the sciences through that connection with AWS. So I think that would be my recommendation, that we do Kerrison, particularly given their support for immigration issues and what some of our residents are facing. They're an important partner. Anacostia Watershed Society, another great partner. Eco City, it goes without saying, tremendous partner. End Time Harvest Ministries, which will allow us to touch the youth. We Lead by Example is helping us touch the youth, but also older residents as well. And then, where is it? Good Intentions. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I good with my math, or did we go over? I think we're good. We needed 6. So we're essentially swapping rank 1 and 7 on the top sheet. Does that, putting it out there, but council, let me know your thoughts. I did hear some grumblings about the tiny print. I'm just saying. I'm just the messenger. It was fine. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, Brian. I don't know who said it. Look, I don't know who said it. I heard through the grapevine. Oh, I'm sorry. It was both ways. Mr. Wood, I have no idea. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Noted, Mayor, noted. Thank you. I will take that under advisement moving forward. Thank you, Councilwoman. Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Saving
doing.
paper.
How did
I
you
like
know?
it. It was very sustainable. Thank you, Councilmember Blunt.
We're a green community. I was doing my best.
You want me to run them back one more time? Or you think you got them all?
Please. Yeah,
Okay,
please,
so
one more
we've got
time.
Kerrison, and then AWS, Eco City Farms, End Time Harvest Ministries, We Lead by Example, and then Good Intentions Foundation.
And the ones you didn't mention, is the ones that.
Yeah, because we would have to pull money from somewhere else to be able to cover all of them. Yeah. And we just don't have the funding. But still, we're doing more than we have previously, so still making a good impact.
All right. Copy that. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. So I'll send that out and we'll notify the recipients and move forward.
And then in the 7 o'clock meeting, we'll just need to do the formal vote.
Yep.
Sorry, Mr. Gray. It will just do the formal vote in the 7 o'clock meeting, since it's a financial decision of the council.
Okay.
For the ones that didn't make it, we have our discretionary funds. Can we give money to the, okay, great.
Oh, and speaking of, has there been an allocation of the FY26 discretionary funds? Because if not, we need to do that at the next meeting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Got it. All right, we will wrap this up quickly so we have time to prepare. Any other comments or questions regarding the scholars, the grants? Okay. All right, so with that, we have come to the end of tonight's agenda. Council, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions before adjournment? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. We're adjourned, and the time is 6:40. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bladensburg Town Council meeting for Monday, July 13th, 2026. We are now called to order. At this time, we'll begin tonight's meeting with the opening prayer by Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Father, we thank you. Thank you for bringing us here, bringing us together this evening. Grant us wisdom, discernment, and humility as we serve our community. Help us to listen with open minds and speak with respect and make decisions that promotes justice, unity, and the well-being of all residents. Guide our leaders, protect our officers. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. For those who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, the next item on tonight's agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Asamoon.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. In terms of corrections for the agenda, what we discussed previously was the addition of summer recess under presentations to add patriotic committee, and then updates from our representatives. I believe I saw Ms. Gloria from Diana Fennell's office and Vanessa from Senator Augustine's office, and you're with Augustine as well. Okay, so we'll do that. And then looking ahead to page 2, under financial business, adding item B for community grants, allocations, and then item C for council discretionary funds. So council, would those amendments be acceptable? Okay, all right. So with that, I'll call for the motion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The revised agenda is approved. At this time, again, we'll jump right into presentations, beginning with Ms. Renee Green from Patriotic Committee. And as you're coming up, I want to say a special thank you for supporting our Independence Day event and sweating, all the sweat equity you paid out there.
So that leads into exactly what I was going to say. So for my patriotic report tonight, I want to thank Ray Jeffries and give him a shout out. I mean, for planning another incredible fireworks celebration. You know, he started planning that in February, so that kind of gives you an idea of how much work goes into that. But it was such a great way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country. And it was over 100 degrees that night. So it takes so many people to make an event like that successful, and the heat added to the challenge on everyone. So I want to thank everyone who assisted, and I think there was about 1,000 people that showed up. I also want to thank the Mayor James and the town council, the staff, police, the fire department, public works especially. Oh my goodness. Sean from Code Enforcement, he was riding around the whole time with a cooler of ice and water, making sure everyone was okay too. It was just incredible. It really was. And everyone had a wonderful time. I think, I'm surprised no one passed out. The only issue was a little dog that got lost. And I want to thank, I was at the table, at the town table, handing out all kinds of wonderful gifts and prizes and T-shirts and clocks, everything. And you know what? It was a tough night. But I had the police and I had the explorers assisting me. Yeah. So, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I had like 30 people helping me, and there was a line of about 30 people wanting gifts. So it worked out just fine. So, happy 250th anniversary to the country, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green. We appreciate your support with all of our patriotic activities and for always being a partner, and again, for putting in all that sweat equity with us and rolling up your sleeves and being ready to work. We appreciate you.
Well, I did too.
Thanks. At this time, thank you. At this time, we'll hear from Delegate Diana Fennell's office. Oh, okay. She punted to Senator Augustine's office, so I guess we'll get the whole District 47 update. That works for us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vanessa, and I'm Chief of Staff for Senator Augustine, and I'm very happy to present Helena Miskana, who is our community liaison. So if you want to tell them a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Helena. I am from Chillum. Sorry, I'm from Chillum, Maryland.
I'm just short.
No worries. I'm from Chillum, Maryland. I live in New Carrollton. I'm part of the community, and I'm very happy to be here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gloria. I'm from Delegate Fennell's office, and I'm just up here with her.
Okay, cool. And we're happy that we're out of session and everything. So, we're here always just to be here as a resource. So if there's anything that you want to report to us or anything that we can help you with, whether it's like, State Highway, PEPCO, like whatever's going on, let us know how we can be a support to you guys. So I think that's kind of the gist of it all. Our cookout will come in a few months, but I'll give you updates once we solidify everything.
Thank you. And Vanessa, just a heads up before you take your seat for the September meeting, we did have to push the SHA presentation from tonight's work session to the 5:30 meeting. So I was texting with Senator earlier.
Okay.
He committed to being here because it involves a state agency.
Yeah.
So I'll just make sure we send it to both you and him when we send the Zoom link over to you.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. And Helena, it's nice to meet you. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
So that concludes the presentations for this evening. So we'll now move into item 6 for the approval of the meeting minutes for Monday, June 8th. Council, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions regarding the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. 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 Any nays? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. At this time, we'll move into item 7, which is public comment, where we hear from town residents. Mr. Reinhardt, we'll turn it over to you to call the names.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have several people signed up. And again, if you're a town resident, please go up to the microphone. You have 3 minutes. If you're not a town resident, just let us know and we could just check you off the list. The first one up is Ms. Susan McCutcheon.
Start to bring my own microphone, do it from the, I come every time. Hi, Susan McCutcheon, and I live in Bladensburg on Spring Road. There's so many salient issues, I don't even know where to start. First of all, I'm very concerned about the piling on from the federal government, about piling on to blue states, about anybody who wants to do anything to make the situation more humane and reasonable and transparent for immigration. Is heavy weight coming on to the government of Maryland as one of the many blue states who are being harassed by the federal government about funding and threatened, et cetera. And it's very frustrating, and I know we have a lot of concerned people who want to do something and be right, including our council, and I do, and Mr. Wood has been wonderful, but we have been corresponding, and especially Anna has been corresponding, but we have been talking about all the different issues and angles of what is happening, and I'm so pleased that we're going to be on the I hope will be on the September agenda. I know on the September agenda, but to speak about different thoughts that the community has, and openness in the community, and the acting chief as well. And it's been very open, and I appreciate that. That's something I do appreciate about Bladensburg. Willing to listen and to hear what's being said. And it doesn't mean automatically everything is going to happen the way people want it, because it maybe can't for whatever reason, but at least be reasonable, listen, and that is what I see in this council, and I've seen this for many years, for many other issues. I want to bring up about voting. Please pay attention to, well, I'm on everybody's email about webinars and Zoom calls, et cetera, but about voting issue webinars and Zooms. There's a lot that's out there because there's been, from the top, there's a very much the pressure, as we all know, about trying to stop people from voting or making it difficult for people to vote. And we can't sit out, we can't be so discouraged that we don't go out to vote, that we don't pay attention to what's going on and look to the tricks and things that are going on, because it's very sinister, just as sinister as ICE is, just as sinister as many of these things are. So there's so much going on, and I'll add on to it hyperscale data centers and the lack of transparency with the Prince George's County Council that is disgusting in its lack of transparency, appointing people who should not be appointed to a planning board who have had no idea about what to do with a planning board because they have no experience. And it seems to be at the behest of powers that be, which is just as bad locally as it is statewide and as it is federally, people appointed who should not be. And they need to be more transparent, and we have to demand that. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCutcheon.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next person signed up is Miss Anna Greenstone.
Hi, Mayor James, council, town staff. I'm Anna Greenstone, a resident of Bladensburg, and I'm returning tonight. And I'm still asking for you to take more action regarding ICE's presence and operations in Bladensburg. I'm really appreciative that you all have welcomed this dialogue, that we have been in touch, as Susan said. And that as a concerned group of residents, we've been able to meet with the town administrator and Chief Fishcorn, and that this issue has been added to September's work session. Thank you. However, it is important that we see some concrete action and change before September. You've expressed interest in creating a document to share some of the policies that Bladensburg PD does have in place already to protect and support residents in the case of an ICE encounter or detainment. And we'd like to know, what is your goal for when that will be complete? You've expressed interest in appointing a staff member as a community liaison who could work closer with concerned residents. And I'd like to know, when will that decision be made of who that person will be? There are so many other ways to take action, even if you remain against limiting ICE's access to certain properties in town. We have ideas and we'll bring them to you in September, but we'd love to see more proactive problem solving also from the government now. More ideas and action toward rebuilding trust with residents, toward reducing chances for residents to be harmed. This bears repeating. Federal immigration agents under this administration are not consistently operating in reasonable ways or safe ways. Since our meeting, ICE has killed Lorenzo Salgado Arujo in Texas, who, as you likely know, was not even the target of ICE's search. He didn't deserve to die regardless, but he was not even the target of ICE's search. And in recent weeks, ICE has become increasingly more aggressive and intimidating toward lawful community observers in Prince George's County. And that includes recklessly speeding on our roads, recording observers, following them to their homes as intimidation tactics. And so from Human Rights Watch, I'll just add that in the 500 days since Trump's inauguration in 2025, 52 people have died in ICE custody in the US, and the rate of deaths is the highest level that it's been in 10 years. And so I just ask that we continue to take more action now, hopefully to prevent a death like Lorenzo's from happening in Bladensburg or Prince George's County. Thank you.
Mayor, next person signed up is Foster Geddes.
This is my first time giving a statement, so just bear with me. I think I've got this thing on. Also worth noting, I am Bladensburg resident, and I'm a Ward 1 constituent. I've been seeing lately online on the town's Instagram page that the police department has been making many efforts to court trust from community through initiatives like walks with a cop, coffee with a cop, and notably ice cream with a cop on Friday, while at the same time undermining that trust by allowing ICE to park in the police station lot. The jurisdiction of that lot and who can park there is not clear or well understood by community members. When ICE parks there, it gives the loud impression that the Bladensburg Police Department and the town administration support and welcome ICE into the community. It creates the perception of collaboration, whether or not that may be actually happening. When ICE agents are allowed in the police department with doors held open, it says loud and clear to anyone watching, we support ICE in our neighborhoods, parks, and municipal buildings. It says we will take action to support ICE, even an action as simple as holding the door open for an agent while taking no action to support and protect residents. When Bladensburg police are seen as casually chatting with ICE agents in public, it tells resident onlookers that Bladensburg police like and support these guys, approve of what they're doing, and like how they're doing it. It tells residents that Bladensburg police is on ICE's side. Public's perception is an incredibly important aspect of trust. Will you signal to Bladensburg residents that you're on their side? Laws that prevent local police collaboration with ICE and bar the use of certain properties or facilities by them have already been passed by Maryland and Prince George's County. I'm wondering, what will Bladensburg do? The precedent has already been set. As we know, the Maryland Community Trust Act was passed this spring. The word trust is in the title. PG County also passed its own law, the Community Safe Spaces Act. Section 2553, the purpose is clearly stated in the Community Safe Spaces Act to uphold the county's values of equity, inclusiveness, dignity, and justice for all. Maintain community trust by separating county services from federal law and immigration enforcement, and limit the use of county property for federal immigration enforcement purposes to enhance public trust. A legal challenge to the Community Trust Act, the Maryland law, was filed on July 9th by the Justice Department. If the state of Maryland is successfully sued, what laws will there be left to protect our residents? We must pass our own. We must show our residents that they can trust their police department, the mayor, and the council to look out for them. Right now, we know that the Bladensburg Police Department cannot collaborate with ICE because of the law handed down by the state. But should that law disappear, what will Bladensburg Police do then? I just have a little bit left. Can I? Quickly, please. Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, this is my first time. Even an action to do nothing and not intervene is a choice, and the residents of Bladensburg are taking note. Mayor James may say no to designating Bladensburg as a sanctuary city, decrying it as performative action. If so, then I implore you to take some action, any other action to show the most vulnerable residents of our town that the city is looking out for them and they can trust you. Community trust initiatives like Ice Cream with the Cop could be a step forward. Will you let the presence of ICE take you 10 steps back? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Geddes. Next person, Sean.
Mr. Steve Whites.
Yeah, I'm Steve Whites. I live on Tilden Road. We have a stormwater drain going throughout the town, carry the stormwater that drains from the streets and so forth. But those stormwater drains are now clogged up with debris, and they're overgrown vines and trees clogging it up. But the biggest concern I have is there's several gates that are unlocked and sections of fence that are down, and children and teens are down there playing in the stormwater drain, and I'm concerned that someone's going to get hurt or trapped there in the drain. So, I've talked to a couple of council members and the police chief, and in the past we've tried to go with 311. It's very difficult to get them to do anything. And so I appreciate the police chief and Roger are going to contact the county and try to get them out here to straighten it out before we have any problems with flooding or people getting hurt. But also, the last time they were out here, 2020, we had a big flood in Bladensburg, and that was the last time the stormwater drains were cleaned out. We had 20-foot trees and vines growing in there, and it was pretty bad, but they did do a good job once you get them out here. So I appreciate, the help from the police and code officer, and I would encourage anyone that sees any drains clogged up in the streets or throughout the town, notify the town so that it could be taken care of. The other concern I have is a neighbor said her car was hit and totaled by a hit-and-run driver. Another neighbor's car was recently broken into. There's a proposal to keep the town vehicle at the mayor's residence for official business and meeting use, but I'm concerned that keeping the town vehicle at a residence would subject it to being hit or vandalized. I'd rather see the vehicle kept at the police station where it's more secure, and I think it should be available to the council members too if they need it for town meetings or business. Sign up and reserve it, and keep a record of where you're going, the mileage, and so forth. I think it should be available to all the council members to use. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. White. It's good to see you. We were wondering where you've been all these many months.
The next person signed up is Mr. Marlon Cruz.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Town of Bladensburg. My name is Marlon Cruz, and I'm a resident of Ward 1 on Quincy Street. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak in front of you all. I am here to share my concern over the federal enforcement in the Town of Bladensburg and around the Town of Bladensburg. I will continue to seek some action from the Town of Bladensburg. I know that it is very difficult to act. We are our own municipal government, though. Let's remember the reason why governments exist, because people like us form them. Towns are incorporated, right, by people who want to incorporate them. And so that's why the beauty of the United States. I work with people who are from the UK, and so they are very impressed by the way that in the United States that you can get things done simply by wanting to do them, right? So it's very it sort of made me grateful for where I am and where I live, and the democracy that we still are latching onto as hard as possible. So I really implore that we are able to act, and like some of my fellow neighbors have shared, the terrible statistics that are continuing to happen, and they continue to occur. So I will continue to fight no matter how tired I am, and I will continue to organize within the community and show the demand and the need for action. And that's really what I was asking for. Thank you so much for your openness to meet with me. I hope that we can continue to meet and continue to chat. I will continue to work hard as well. No matter what needs to be done on my end, I'm trying my best to collaborate with the Town of Bladensburg. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Reinhardt?
And Mayor, our last person signed up is the Honorable Walter James.
Thank you.
Good
evening, everyone.
You have a comment?
Oh, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Walter James, a resident of Bladensburg, residing on Doris Court here in the town of Bladensburg. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for this opportunity. Before I get started, I just want to say to the Mayor and Council, thank you so much for your responsible and conscious leadership in moving our town forward. And I do want to congratulate the Mayor on her elevation to MML President. And this is not only a promotion, I believe this is not only a promotion for the mayor, but it's a promotion for the town of Bladensburg. And I believe that what they say, the waves rises all ships. You know, I'm probably messing up that quote, but it's something that is not just a promotion for the mayor, but it's a promotion for the town as a whole. So I rise in support of a resolution to amend the personnel manual as it relates to take-home vehicles access for the elected officials. I do support the mayor having a take-home vehicle. Many of you know I've sat in that seat for 12 years. And there's an unexpected, unwritten rule as it relates to the roles and responsibilities of the mayor that come from the residents, that come from all echelons of government, whether that's the county, that's the state, or the federal level. There's immediate response. This is not a personal benefit to the mayor. This is a measure that's put in place by a resource by the municipal government that allows the mayor to serve the residents effectively whenever and wherever it's needed. So I encourage the council to really consider this when it comes to this is not a personal benefit to an individual. This is something for that position of the mayor who is in a position to respond whenever residents need it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. James.
Mayor, I was just advised, Miss Vanessa from Malcolm Augustine office would like to, she signed up to speak also, but.
Sorry, I didn't know public comment. Oh, if it's okay. Did you have any? Yes.
Yep.
Sorry. Sorry. Part of the reason we came, now I know, now I won't do it again. But I'm very grateful for you guys being so open. And part of the reason we're also here is because Senator Augustine just also wants to echo what the community members are saying. You know, we're here to instill that public trust. And I know you guys do everything that you can, you know, to support our local residents and everything. And I just know that within our community, just being Hispanic and like my family, like my extended family, I see the fear that they face every day. Like, you know, you go out and you don't know if you're going to come back. And I feel like there's already this fear of law enforcement as a whole, and now it's just been exacerbated with everything going on in the federal government, that I think that, you know, when anything comes down, like domestic violence, the smallest things that you can think of, now that there's no trust, it's really hard for people to come and speak about the smallest things ever, because they're like, the trust is gone. And, you know, once the trust is gone, you truly do have to rebuild it. And it's not something that comes overnight. It comes with action, right? So that's something we just really want to echo. And just like, we had partners from Megamark reach out to us because, you know, they're very important to our community. And this was regarding something that was going on in Baltimore City, where there was ice in the parking lot and everything. And so what we did is, through another contact from a different senator, we said, hey, do you think the police can, like the city police can stay in the station, so maybe like they can, you know, move their cars or something? And that did end up happening. And, you know, most of them, once they saw more police presence and there wasn't that, you know, not sure how to describe it, but they did move out. So it really does start with the small actions. So we just want to echo what the community is saying, and thank you so much.
And Vanessa, briefly, I spoke to the senator at MML about this and asked for specific support. That was over a month ago, just to let him know this is a rising concern, and we need to understand from his office the state response. As a municipal government, we can't outweigh the federal government.
Of course.
We don't have jurisdiction over them.
No,
and so my ask, and I'll just mention this to you as well, is separately, if we can just continue that conversation in terms of the legislation, because there are bills that were passed, but they don't take effect for several months.
Yes.
And so the community is like, why aren't you doing anything? We can't violate state policy. We can't violate federal policy. And so this really has to stop being an us versus them, and really us coming together and understanding, in light of decisions that have been made by the state, what can we legally do?
Okay.
As I said to the resident, Mr. Cruz, on Friday, there are residents in our community that ICE doesn't have their information, and there's certain actions that if we take them, we're now putting those residents at risk. So they're not just coming for the person on their checklist, but we've now opened it up for the
So then
folks
they
that they didn't know were here. This is a very sensitive issue, and we cannot afford to put more people in jeopardy. And we also can't afford to put our town in position where now we're the ones being sued. Our budget is a drop in, not even a drop in the bucket to a federal administration. Our budget's a joke to them. And so what I'm asking for through you is some
Support.
serious support in how we move this forward.
Of course. So I know Senator Augustine can't be here because he's out of town. But I know this is definitely, I think this is a good start. You know, this is how it all starts. You know, community comes up and this is really how we collectively come together so we can move together, because as you know, we're never separate in these issues. We collaborate all the time. So I'm just thankful that you gave me the time.
For
and
sure.
Everything.
And I also want to bring balance too. This isn't all over Bladensburg. We've had these instances with our police parking lot because it is public property. And there's been issues, you know, with the fire department that was also brought up. And so I don't want to generalize this to make it seem like ICE is running through every corner of Bladensburg. That's simply not true. I want to deal with the facts along with the council and the community. And again, just make sure that we are knowledgeable about what the state efforts are and what responsibilities and what options we have. And I'm not just picking on you. I sat down with Governor Moore 3 weeks ago and had the same conversation. So I'm asking for help, and we'll follow up accordingly. Okay?
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. All right, so that concludes public comment. And in moving down the agenda, first, let me just thank all of our residents who came out to express your public comments. We do value your time and appreciate you coming out, and we'll be following up as we have been. As you heard tonight, there's already been meetings addressing some of these issues. Some issues don't get solved in one conversation, but if you're committed to the process, then we welcome that opportunity to continue working with you. Mr. Weitz, I know we saw the email, things are already in motion, so we'll continue following up with you accordingly as well. We do not have any items under unfinished business, so at this time, Mr. Wood, if you could do a work session review, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. So at the 5:30 work session, a number of topics were discussed. 52nd Avenue update, as the mayor stated, we had to push that to September. We did just have an update on the joint effort. And again, I'll say at this session, the fantastic collaboration between SHA and our Bladensburg Public Works Department and Code and Police Department for assistance in really cleaning up that stretch. It is now safe and certainly much more more beautiful, I guess I would say, than it was before. So just a major thank you to all those that worked on that effort. Port Town bus operations, I think I got some clear directive there from the council on working with Comar Manor to put together a plan for the town to officially take over all operations for the Port Town bus and give us a little bit of leeway on what the next steps will be, and we'll be bringing that back before council. The Palace Project just kind of did a general overview of the work that was done in partnership with the University of Maryland and what the next steps will be, as well as sharing the renderings with council and hopefully getting a digital version to put up online. The Gloves Up, Guns Down, the chief did a great job providing an overview of the week-long camp that's coming up into July, and then the year-long mentorship program that is going to be taking place in collaboration both with the county and with a number of other municipalities and nonprofit partners. So we're extremely excited about that. the grants and scholarship program discussion. That is something that will be taken up a little bit later on with the amended agenda, but just reviewing a number of applicants that applied for a $2,000 grant from the town, and the pilot discussion. We got some clarity on that with regards to the agreement that we'll be sharing with Hamlet Woods as they finalize that project and as residents are moving in. So I think that captures the work session review. Council, I'll hand it back over if there are any questions or highlights that I didn't mention.
I think that covers everything. Council, were there any additions for the review? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Town Administrator, for that recap. Now we're on to item 10, which is new business, beginning with the resolution amending personnel manual regarding elected officials' access to town vehicles. So we'll turn it over to you.
All right. Good evening again. This resolution is amendment to personnel manual regarding the authorization for mayoral and elected official vehicle use. Would you like me to read the whole thing?
Not in its entirety. I think you have the abbreviated cover sheet. Sorry, still flipping. Oh, no. It's the attachment you gave us.
The
revised motion.
Yes. Oh, yes, sorry, and the motion to direct.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, so in addition to the resolution, there's a motion to direct the town administrator to authorize the provision of dedicated municipal vehicle to the mayor. Those go hand in hand. Just to overview, it's amending the personnel manual and then a specific motion to direct the town administrator to make a city-owned vehicle available moving forward.
All right, thank you, Town Administrator Wood. So, Council, is there a motion to direct Town Administrator Wood to proceed with the amendment to the personnel manual regarding personnel clause for elected officials' use of town vehicles? Once it's on the floor, we can go into the questions. We just need a motion in a second, and then we can go into discussion. You had, for the overview, did you need more clarity from Mr. Wood? He can.
It was just questions, a couple of questions I had. Okay, first, I'd like to say, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I did bring it up that the mayor does a lot for the town of Bladensburg, and I mean, she's all over the place when it comes to, doing, being the mayor of Bladensburg, and I did bring it up. I think she needs a car to do that. I mean, you all see the good work that's going on, what she's doing, and I did bring it up, and I stand by it. But I do have a question. Are they just, I read both of them, just for a year? So maybe that's what.
Great question, Councilwoman. So it was amended to align, and I apologize, it was amended this morning to align with the personnel manual. So similar to other town staff, it will be reauthorized as part of the budget. So assuming those vehicles are available, the personnel manual essentially says that they have access to that. So it doesn't have to be authorized separately. And this, sorry, I apologize, was amended to reflect that process. So when you pass the budget next year, it will be passed and authorized through that same process. So it doesn't require a separate act every year, which is how it was originally written in your packet. So I apologize.
Okay, well, no, I just.
Yeah, Councilmember Blunt, he made those updates and put the copies up here.
Oh,
to address that same question.
Okay, now.
But also, it's clearly understood that whoever the mayor is, if there's an issue where we're short vehicles and the chief needs those vehicles, or Public Works or whoever, they can be recalled back. So it's a privilege as long as the resource is available, with the understanding that it can be called back if the staff resource is a higher priority.
Okay. I so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any comments or questions before calling the vote?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Dixon.
I just want to echo what Councilmember Blunt says in regards to the mayor getting a vehicle. She does a lot of work for the town, and using your personal vehicle. Remember, mayor and council is not employed by the town full-time. We have our own jobs. And so for her to be jumping here and there, it takes money and gas to actually take care of her own vehicle as well. So I do echo and totally agree, because you do a lot for this town. You are doing a lot for this town. You have done and still doing. So I agree.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. And I just want to clarify, really, this is a policy that's gone back to when David Harrington was mayor. So it's been assigned to the vehicle, and I appreciate the personal comments, but it's just whoever is mayor is always called upon the most and has to be the most flexible to get wherever you need to get at a moment's notice. And so just want to call back that it's not for Keisha, it is for that position. Yeah, whoever, I could be gone tomorrow, whoever is in that position, that burden is put on them, and I think the town should give adequate resources to meet the burden. So if there are no other questions, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. 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 Any nays? The ayes have it, the motion passes. And then item B is with respect, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I know it's been passed and everything, and like you said, just for clarification with the public, it's like if there's a need that arises and, you know, and it needs the police department or whatever they need the vehicle, it can be, you know, recalled and put back into into the fleet, so.
And then for a separate motion regarding the resolution for amendments to personnel manual regarding authorization for mayoral and elected official vehicle use, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions? Again, this is now making the personnel policy consistent with the vote the council has taken. But any comments or questions before the vote?
I do have a comment. I just hope if there ever become a mayor that if that mayor doesn't work as good as you have done, they don't get that car.
It is, there's the recall provision in there, and it's not in fine print either. So if it's not used right, that is in there. Any other comments or questions before calling the vote? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you all so much. The next item under new business is the resolution declaring surplus equipment and authorizing its disposal. Town Administrator Wood, will turn it over to you for the presentation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. Oh, wait, just position. Okay. Sorry. Oh, all right. Here we go. This is the resolution authorizing the disposition of 3 surplus Bladensburg Police Department vehicles through a municipal auction vendor. Would you like me to read the whole resolution? Or?
No, the abbreviated work. It was posted, so according to the town attorney, you can read the abbreviated notation. Unless you really want to. I do not want to get in the way of you reading a good resolution tonight.
While I really appreciate that offer, Madam Mayor, I will politely pass. And if there are any questions, I will happily defer to the chief on the specifics of the vehicles. But they are no longer vehicles that we're able to utilize at this point. Chief, are there any specifics that you wanted to mention about why we're surplusing them?
Yeah, and even if you could just take a step back too, because some people may not recall, I think it was this time last year or sometime in 2025, at the time Major Dickerson was helping to get rid of the old vehicles. So just to give people an understanding of why this is even necessary would be helpful.
Okay, good morning, Mayor and Council. We're trying to update our fleet, and these are vehicles that are, 2 of them are 9 years old with high mileage, over 100,000 miles. The maintenance cost on them is not worth getting the vehicles fixed. The other one is a 2015, so it's 11 years old. We don't want to have a bunch of our older vehicles just sitting around town. We're paying for, we have insurance and all that on them, so it's something that we want to get rid of and use the money when we go to purchase new vehicles.
Thank you, Chief. And so with that, Mr. Wood, if you want to just read the opening text, and then I'll call for the vote for the resolution. And we actually need the number. I noticed that wasn't there. At the top of.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, for Section 10, Item B.
Yep, resolution number.
Oh, sorry, so it's not on mine. I
2027?
see it. Yeah, I see it on Councilmember Brown's packet. It's just not on mine. That's fine. No, all good.
Oh, sorry.
Item A.
Thank you.
I don't know how that.
It's all good.
What in the world? Okay. So yes, resolution number 02-2027, resolution authorizing the disposition of 3 surplus Bladensburg Police Department vehicles through a municipal auction vendor. And whereas the town of Bladensburg owns and maintains a fleet of vehicles for use by the Bladensburg Police Department and conduct of town business, and whereas the town administrator has identified 3 police vehicles that are no longer suitable for continued service due to age, mileage, and cost of repairs relative to the current value and further described below. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Whereas the vehicles proposed for disposition are the following 3 vehicles. So good.
That is perfect. Thank you so much, Town Administrator Wood. So with that, Council, is there a motion to approve Resolution Number 02-2027?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Now, are there any comments or questions before calling the vote? No? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you, T.A. Wood, and thank you, Chief, for being prudent and just removing those resources and not wasting money insuring them, and certainly not putting money into repairing those vehicles when the value is as much as what it is to repair them. So we appreciate the foresight there. The other item under Section 10 is item D regarding summer recess, and this was amended in the agenda this evening. Council, is there a motion to approve summer recess for the month of August?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions before calling the vote? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much, Council. I'm sure the staff will appreciate that break from us, but we'll still be responsive, as always, to our constituents' concerns during that time. Is it not on?
Oh, no, you're on. Point of order, Madam Mayor. I think we missed the resolution amending the personnel manual to establish foreign language proficiency pay.
I breezed right past B. My apologies. Let me go back. Now I realize my error. They were in the same, I think I had them in the same tab, so I overlooked it. That's my fault.
You did? I was like, oh.
She was like, wait. No, this is an important one because staff in the all-hands meeting brought this up, the importance of recognizing the skill set for bilingual skills. and being adequately compensated. So I definitely want to thank you, Town Administrator, but also want to thank Chief Frischkorn, because right after that meeting, you took action, putting pen to paper to write out things that could help us to make sure that we put a good plan in place. So the staff feels that they're being heard when they bring these issues and concerns to us. So once again, Town Administrator Wood, if you want to read the full resolution, you are welcome to, or you can read the preamble, and then we'll call for the vote.
I will read the preamble, Madam Mayor. Resolution 01-2027, resolution establishing a bilingual pay differential policy for the town employee and authorizing the development of an implementing standard operating procedure. If there are questions, again, I will hand that over to the chief, but I know this was discussed at the June 8th work session. And the only other highlight that I would make is in the resolution, it clearly identifies that the funding, as the chief said, would be coming from traffic enforcement measures specifically.
And you're good with that, Chief? Pulling from your budget, just want to make sure.
Yes, it's mostly involving public safety with police and dispatch.
Okay.
So that can come out from there.
Mr. Hall, you have a question about it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think
I was just reading your face, that's all.
Yeah, I think when it first came up, I was wondering, was this for town employees, period? And what I think we had a discussion is, you have to be able to translate to residents as well, not just be able to partially translate. Is that what I'm hearing, or?
Correct. And what was proposed to the council at the last work session was that you have to be certified. So I can't come to you and say, I'm fluent in Yoruba without being able to prove it. And so with HR, there will be a test that is administered, through a third-party company, but you'll have to, based on your skill set, you'll either be placed in basic or more advanced. So some people may be conversational, but they might not be able to help you fill out a police report because they're not fluent in the language. And so the amount of compensation will be tied to wherever you're certified, either at a basic or at advanced level. Does that help explain it?
Yeah, but what I just kind of heard, if I'm not mistaken, is I kind of heard is what you just said is like police department.
No, it's for all staff.
Right, but what we're saying was be able to translate, police stuff. Now,
No, because your guys are frontward facing.
Right,
so I'm
okay,
thinking about
right.
some of the bilingual folks. Again, I don't want to call names because it's personnel matter, but if some of the guys are able to communicate with the staff proficiently, they're eligible. It's not just for the police department.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure because I know we had spoke about it earlier at one of our staff meetings and everything, and that's why I want to make sure. But this is the first time me hearing that it was passed or anything like that. So I just
about to be.
Make sure.
Like 2 minutes,
sorry.
hopefully.
I just want to,
don't jinx it, Mr. Hall.
Right. I just want to make sure that we're around the board with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the goal, is really enhancing our customer service and being able to speak to people in a language that they're comfortable with makes the staff more relatable. And honestly, it helps people to feel more comfortable opening up. And so I see your team on the front lines of that communication with residents. And they should be able to benefit from that, too, by, again, testing, being certified, and compensated accordingly.
All right. That's
all right.
Thank you
Looking
very
out
much.
for everybody, Mr.
Oh, yes,
Hall.
ma'am. That's all I know. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council.
Of course. Town Administrator, anything else you wanted to add there?
No, Madam Mayor.
All right. And so the last resolution was 02-2027. So this resolution for the bilingual pay doesn't have a number in here. Are we to assume it's 03-2027, our third resolution of the new fiscal year?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, Madam Mayor. 03.
Okay.
There's 0. Yeah, 03.
Okay, perfect. So council, is there a motion to approve Resolution 03-2027, establishing a bilingual pay differential policy for town employees?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any further comments or questions regarding the resolution? I do want to thank you all for being at the all-hands meeting and hearing staff concerns, because this definitely speaks to the fact that, again, we heard some of the concerns and we're working with the leadership to address them. So, council, thank you for your support. With that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Resolution 03-2027 passes. And now I believe that concludes all items under new business. Is that right, Mr. Wood? Just double checking.
Yes, under new business. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Great. We are now on to financial business, beginning with the resolution accepting the $300,000 Municipal Town Hall Grant Award. Vanessa, please thank Senator Augustine for his support with these resources, along with Delegate Fennell. I know Miss Gloria Albright left, but we appreciate the delegation's support in helping us modernize this facility. Town Administrator Wood, over to you. I'm trying to be gentle here.
Good evening, yes, and just for clarification, I'm sorry, the resolution numbers are out of order because it's how I wrote them, not, yeah, in the packet, sorry. So this is resolution number 01, first one I wrote. A resolution of the mayor and council, I'm sorry, a resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Bladensburg authorizing the execution of a state of Maryland capital projects grant agreement for the Bladensburg Municipal Center. This grant, as the mayor stated, allocates $300,000 for the continued development and design and efforts for a new municipal center. This is the next step in the process. Once assuming this passes, happens, then it will be able to go before the Department of General Services and ultimately we'll be able to begin drawing down money, hopefully here in the next couple of months. So this covers outlays that the town has already put out for work and services rendered and help us take the next steps in the process.
And also thanks to Neighborhood Design Center, because they've been a partner in this project up till now. So we couldn't have gotten this far without them. Yes. So council, is there a motion to approve Resolution 01-2026, authorizing the execution of a State of Maryland Capital Projects Grant Agreement for the Bladensburg Municipal Center project?
Also moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions before we call the vote? Everyone's jumping up and down on the inside. It's been a long time coming. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The resolution passes. Thank you so much. We look forward to the next steps.
I'm sorry.
So continuing under financial business, we also have to allocate the community grants, which are offered at $2,000 per community organization, and we're authorizing up to 6 grants to close out the FY 2026 budget year. As Mr. Tonelli often calls July, this is the 13th month of the year where he's closing everything out, and so that's why there's a bit of a delay with this. Per the discussion in the council work session, the council had consensus around providing a grant to Kerrison. As many of you know, they help immigrant communities deal with paperwork issues and other counseling regarding all matters of immigration services. So we want to continue to support them. We've also identified Anacostia Watershed Society, Eco City Farms, End Time Harvest Ministry, We Lead by Example, and Good Intentions Foundation as the other recipients. So with that, there was agreement around them. Council, we just need a formal motion to approve the grants for, again, Kerrison, Anacostia Watershed Society, Eco City Farms, End Time Harvest Ministries, We Lead by Example, and Good Intentions. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember McBride. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions regarding the allocations of the grants? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you all so much, and congratulations to all the grant recipients for the FY 2026 fiscal year. The next item under financial business is allocation of council discretionary funds, which are $500, again, closing out the fiscal year for 2026. Councilmember Dixon, I will need your recommendation. I'll run through the others while you think about yours. But Councilmember McBride requested hers go to Eco City Farms. Councilmember Brown requested that hers go to Royal Institute. Councilmember Blunt requested that hers be split between GATS, which is Deacon Barbara Gibbons' organization that focuses on senior services, and the other half going to End Time Harvest Ministries. And then for mine, I want to contribute my $500 to Royalty Institute as well. They were a good community grant recipient last year, and we just didn't have enough to go around to everyone. Councilmember Dixon, who would you like yours to go to?
I'll get back to you.
Okay. All right, so with that, council, is there a motion to approve? It didn't. I hit it, it just didn't want to cooperate. I guess it said, look, it's 8 o'clock, I'm done, I'm not working. Sorry, guys, jeez. So with that, council, is there a motion to approve the following discretionary fund allocations for Mayor James to Royalty Institute, for Councilmember Brown to Royalty Institute, for Councilmember McBride to Eco City Farms, and to Councilmember Blunt to split her allocations between GATS and End Time Harvest Ministries? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions before calling the vote? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The council discretionary allocations have been made, and Councilmember Dixon, if you could just get with Mr. Tonelli, because he's going to be closing everything out this month, and we can just approve it retroactively at the September meeting.
Yeah.
Just, we don't want trouble with the auditors, so please.
I'm still thinking,
Okay.
after I get it to Bladensburg Elementary, so I'm thinking right now.
Mike's not on. Okay. All right, so that completes all of the items under financial business, right? Didn't miss anything, because again, I know we made some changes. We're now on to item number 12, which is staff reports. And Mr. Tonelli's not here, but I know, Mr. Wood, you said you would give his report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you articulated earlier, this is the 13th month. So we are working on finalizing everything. I know in the past, a report for June hadn't been done just because it fluctuates so much between June and closing out. So there will be obviously a final report in August for the months of June and July that will reflect all of the machinations. But so far we are on target to meet our revenue projections, and it will be in the black. Yes. So, thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And next we have public safety. So does Chief Frischkorn get Vito's extra time? Only kidding. Sean is going to start hitting the button. I know.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just want to go over some highlights of my report. As you see, the violent crimes was up 33%, but we have such small numbers in the town. If it goes up by 3 or 4, and when it went up by 4, it looks like a big difference, but it's really not a huge difference. But it's still year-to-date is down. Our property crimes is down, year-to-date 26%. We're still having trends with theft from autos and attempt theft from autos. We have made some arrests. We have details going to try to apprehend people. A lot of times it's 1 or 2 people that can make a big impact. We have identified a juvenile that's a resident in town that has been responsible for several events. So sometimes it's just catching the person responsible, and it'll end the trend that we have. We had a lot of recent initiatives. You can look at my report online. Upcoming events, we have the Citizen Police Academy that's ongoing. We have about 9 people in that. We just had the Explorer Leadership Conference, and I'm proud to say that our Explorers took the lead down there in doing a lot of mentoring with the other Explorers. Did a great job. We have Coffee with a Cop coming up at the library at 10 a.m. on the 16th. We have Ice Cream with a Cop. That's also coming up on the 17th. And then we have the boxing camp that's going through July 21st to the 31st. And that's going to be down at the Salvation Army on Edmonston. The stop sign cameras were approved by the county. We've talked to the vendor. So we're going to initially start with 3 or 4 cameras. We're looking at different locations. We had all the studies done. It's just a matter of having them installed now. So in the near future, we'll have them installed. And on problem areas, we're putting them in areas where violation rates are high, the highest for public safety, because we don't want anybody to get injured. We are looking for officers and a dispatcher, so we currently have 3 officers positions and a dispatcher position. So I encourage residents, if anyone's interested or knows someone that's interested, have them apply. We get our 2 new patrol vehicles hopefully next week. It's been taking forever to get them upfitted, but I've been hounding them every week for the last couple months. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks we have them. Some notable incidents. We made an arrest on a first-degree assault involving a weapon, someone pointing a weapon. There's some other ones in there. You can look at my report online to see those. And then some of the goals that we have, we need to increase staffing. We have, that impacts staffing a lot when we're just down a couple people. So if you know anyone that wants to apply, please encourage them. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. And I think it was in Mr. Wood's report, not referenced in here, but there were a couple folks who spoke to us tonight about immigration concerns, and I want to just give you an opportunity to share what you had explained to the residents on the call. I guess it was 2 Tuesdays ago. It'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow, actually, because there's information out there, but I want people to understand from your perspective the other side of the situation.
Yeah, so I have kind of a unique position in which, I lived in Guatemala for 3 months. My wife's Spanish, she doesn't speak English. I've been through the immigration thing a lot with dealing with immigration, with having her family members deal with them, so I understand the fear that they have. There's limitations that our department has, and I know that the county has recently passed legislation dealing with allowing ICE on their parking lots and allowing them in their public spaces. The town of Bladensburg doesn't have that. If they're parked in our parking lot, it's not that we're collaborating with them, because we don't. We don't help them serve immigration, deportation orders, civil orders. If it's a criminal matter or if it's an officer safety issue, then of course we'll get involved. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We want the same things that you all want. We don't want ICE stopping people just because of the way they look. There should be some kind of reason that they're stopping them, that they're going after a particular person. We don't want them violating people's rights. The county did pass the law with the masks, that law enforcement are not supposed to wear masks, and we have brought that up when we've seen them. Look, the county has this law, you're not supposed to wear masks. Whether they're going to listen to us or not, we're in a kind of difficult position, because we don't want to interfere with what they're doing. And sometimes, people will call and say they see ICE in our parking lot, and it might be one of our canine officers, because they wear the same type of uniform. It's a green uniform, so they may confuse them. And we've had people follow some of our officers thinking that they were ICE when they were actually undercover officers. So that's dangerous for them. We don't want that to happen. But I just want you to understand that if we're doing anything with ICE, it's to assist any of the immigrants. Like one time they brought someone to the station, they wanted to use the bathroom. I authorized that because I don't want them to have to drive them all the way to Baltimore or wherever they're going and have them suffer when we can look out for them and have them use the bathroom here. So we have very limited interaction with them. We don't know when they're in town, where they're going to go. They don't tell us about any of their operations that they're doing. We just want to make sure that when they do have interactions that they're not violating people's rights. And we have a duty to intervene if there's something that's going on that's criminal. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but that's our stance. There's not much we can do about moving them off of. We've had them on the fire department parking lot, which is private property. On private property, they're not supposed to be there. If someone doesn't want them there, they can tell them to leave because it's private property. Through this research, I found out that the postmaster was concerned because they were on the post office property, and I initially thought that was federal property, but it's actually private property owned by the, it's leased to them, it's owned by the fire department, so it's private property. So I encourage if someone has ICE out there and they're wearing masks and they don't think that they're ICE, they can always call the police department and we can go and confirm. Other than that, we're not transporting anyone for them. We're not pulling people over for them to serve immigration civil warrants. We're not doing any of that. So that's the stance with the police department.
Thank you so much, Chief, for just enlightening everyone about. Before Mr. Gray yells, sorry, the button did not depress. But thank you for that overview and just laying everything out there, because I knew about the situation with the person who needed to use the bathroom, but what public members were saying is, oh, Bladensburg's cooperating with ICE, when that wasn't the case. It was the humane thing to do to let the person use the restroom. And it's just one small example of how one small thing can be distorted and turned into a different narrative that is not correct. And so I appreciate you just explaining from your perspective what has been done, what the town will do, and particularly want to note the duty to intervene, because that general order was passed in, I think it was 2021, following the George Floyd murder. And the prior chief, talked with the council about that and just really holding officers accountable. If you see someone who's a law enforcement officer crossing the line, you have a duty to intervene, and if not, you will be held responsible to the full extent of the law. That is our expectation. But again, we will continue doing our part, doing our research to figure out if there are other methods that we can take as well. But thank you for that.
I'd like to add one more thing. Also, in our previous discussion, there was an idea of having a liaison for the police department for concerns with immigration. I thought that was a great idea. I've since spoken to Sergeant Ramirez, who's in our community action team, and she's going to be the liaison. She's bilingual. She speaks Spanish. So if there's any concerns, they can reach out to her. If it's something that's more important or urgent or an emergency, they can always call the communications dispatcher, and we can send someone out if need be. Thank you.
And I appreciate you doing that. I wasn't writing you about it only because I understood the staffing issues, particularly with patrol, and understand this issue is important, but the day-to-day operations still have to go on, and needed to give you time to work through that. So thank you for designating someone, and also someone who is bilingual and knows the community. She grew up here and now works here, so I don't think you could have picked a better person to serve in that role. So that completes the public safety update. Now we're going to have code enforcement from the time enforcer over here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have a very brief report this month. Our main focus this month has been focused on business license renewal throughout the town of Bladensburg, which is a very, very, very time-consuming thing. We have just shy of about 200 businesses, so we pay visits to each and every business in town. And so far, we're probably about 80% with the returns of the businesses coming in. We're continuing with apartment inspections. I will admit it did slow down for the month of June just because of the business licensing. We've had 85 abandoned vehicles in the town of Bladensburg. We were able to assist Public Works with several different functions throughout the community. And again, big shout out for the fireworks crew. Everything went good. Heat was horrible, but we made it happen. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. We appreciate your support as always. And Town Administrator, I'll hold the clerk update for your TA update since you're kind of wearing both hats, and go to Public Works next, if that's okay. All right.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and residents and audience right here. This month of June, Public Works did multiple job tasks. As one of them, we have a lot of stuff going on at the Bostwick House where we have an architect that's trying to look underneath the structure of the barn. And as we rode around there to try to look underneath the structure, we noticed probably about a ton, literally, of old wood, so nobody could get in through there. So the guys took like a half a day and loaded up the truck, so he was able to get in there the next day, which was a short notice, but the guys was able to do, as they always do, work immediately. And also we assist code with a lot of cleanup in the industrial area. It's just getting a little bit out of control, but we had to do a whole run for about a half a day, with all the guys, and we probably had at least 2 truckloads of debris and everything that we loaded up from down there. And while we was cleaning up down there, where a lot of people were hanging out underneath the railroad tracks down there, I noticed it was a couple of no parking signs that was missing. Evidently, they took them down or may have hit them and stuff like that. So, our guys, we installed it. Another no parking sign. That way, you can have 3 no parking signs in the middle. In the middle, so there's no confusion of is no parking right here. And hoping that that'll help some of the cars stay from out there. And also, excuse me, due to the heavy buses on 58, and not just the heavy buses, it's just traffic. Period. We had to remove an old crosswalk and try to put another one down on the concrete. This is not asphalt that we're putting it down. We have a concrete little valley to have the waterway come through, and a lot of material just don't want to stick to concrete. So every year we have to kind of like redo it every year. And I want to give the guys a heads up because this year was the first time that we re-scraped the whole crosswalk and then added more paint down. And I was proud to see that. And matter of fact, the paint that I used was from a company that I've learned from MML, Seal Master. I never used them before, but they have a great product that all my white paint that we were using in town, like the crossbars and all that, we'll start using that because it lasts longer and is more durable. And when we put down anything, or as y'all know, we have so much painted curves, stop bars, crosswalk in town, so actually we go through probably about $7,000 worth of white paint and yellow paint throughout the town. So if there's anything that we can get that's more durable, that can, we don't have to come back every year to repaint it, it's a whole lot better on our staff. Because as y'all know, we have so much that we try to do with 7 people, and I want to take my hats off to them guys as well, and myself as well, for constantly digging and grinding with doing what we have to do.
We definitely appreciate it.
And Juneteenth, I want to thank Solomon and Mr. Conrad Watson for assisting everybody with the painting of the benches out here. And as y'all know, we already have installed 2 of them benches. One is right here on 53rd in Annapolis, where a bus shelter was knocked down a long time ago, and we had some requests for another bench right there. And also on 58th, right across from the, what is that? I apologize. The new condos up there. Yeah, Bladensburg condos is a bench. Somebody broke one of the benches that we did last year, so we was able to put this bench, and these benches that we're making now is a little bit more sturdier than the ones we had. And also, I want to give our hats off to the guys again for being so creative. I know y'all see some little sculptures out front and different little things that the guys are just being creative, and some of this is part of what I've learned when we went to Ohio for the American in Bloom. So some of this stuff, and none of this stuff that we got cost anything. This was recyclable. Oh, I'm sorry. Time up.
Not to interrupt you, but
That's good.
all good stuff.
Basically,
all good
the rest
stuff.
of it is on the report.
Just
I apologize.
One question though for you and the team is, could we install some cameras to catch the dumping in the business area?
We look.
Okay.
We looking into that right now. Yes.
Perfect.
I was gonna say, to answer that, Mayor and Council, yes, we do have some trail cameras that we are relocating throughout town. So we are going to be in the process of working with our detectives to get that taken care of and squared away.
Perfect. Thank you both. And Mr. Hall, please thank the team for all their hard work. We
Yes,
definitely
ma'am.
appreciate
And
them.
one thing I just want to echo, I know I don't have the time, I'm sorry, but the collaboration with SHA, I just want to take my hats off to my guys.
Yes.
For working through straight 6 hours. Yeah, we didn't get a lunch break. Neither part got a lunch break. So today we went back out there, and thanks to the town, we fed them.
Nice.
Yes.
But thank you for the collaboration there, because as I said to Senator Augustine, the issue is if we just say we're not going to help you with anything, this infrastructure project is going to fall to the bottom of their priority list. And so that effort that you guys took, being out there, getting that area cleared, cleaning it up, goes so long in terms of that relationship and goodwill building. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And just know Senator sees it. He told you when he saw you that he appreciated all the work that you guys are doing. And so just know he's an advocate and he's pushing on SHA from his side to help support us. So we truly appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. We got some more work to do, but as they see the way that we come in there, then I think everybody will fall in line too.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. So last but certainly not least, Mr. Town Administrator Wood / Clerk, over to you.
Good evening. I'll be fairly brief, but do want to just echo what an awesome team we have all around the board. So speaking of where Pernell kind of left off, we have our American in Bloom judges coming July 20th and 21st. This will be a great 2-day opportunity to showcase our community, a lot of the great work that the guys have been doing all around town. We've developed a pretty robust itinerary that will engage the community, staff, council, and so we're really excited about it. Obviously, a big tip of the cap to Ray as well, who's been spearheading that effort. He was showing me little recycled bees today that I think y'all put out. Anyways, it's been I've learned a lot, but it's a great program to say the least. Next conversation, I think we've talked about a great deal, but I do just want to thank a number of community residents that we had the opportunity to speak with a couple of weeks ago, the chief and myself, and to reiterate, I think what Ms. Greenstone spoke about earlier today with regards to immigration and customs enforcement. I think the meeting was very productive, but more importantly, it was honest and collaborative. I think we had a pretty open dialogue about the concerns that a number of our community members were feeling, and discuss several meaningful actions that the town can take. I think the chief articulated one already, which was around the community liaison. We're finalizing kind of a informational one-pager that's going to go out via social media and on the website, just articulating it is okay if you don't know if somebody is an agent or you feel unsafe, please call our officers. We will go out. And then highlighting a lot of the work that the CAT team and a number of other community members have done to reestablish relationships and trust that we've talked about. And so we talked about that, but also that ongoing dialogue and communication. I know we have, or we're going to try and have a meeting scheduled in in August to kind of talk about what we are doing and what we will continue to do, and that this is not something that's going to be solved overnight, but it's going to be an iterative process. But the town council staff are committed to it, just as we know our residents are. So thankful for that meeting. And then just kind of looking forward, it's crazy, but it's already here. FY28 grant planning is upon us. So we'll be working through that. And I'll share more with that at our retreat council. So yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wood, for all your hard work. At this time, we'll transition to mayor and council reports, beginning with Ward 1 with Councilmember Trina Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I, first of all, would like to thank all the residents, who participated this evening, and then for the ones who are online, watching us online, and to the mayor and the council. This right here, we're wrapping up our about to go on break for 1 month. So, but I definitely want to thank our staff for just all the tremendous amount of work that you all do all year long. I mean, out there that day in the heat. And not that day, because I think Public Works, it's like, our Public Works Department and the Police Department, you all, and Code Enforcement, you all work in the heat every day, every day. So, that doesn't go unnoticed, and we just can't, say enough thank yous, because we know that you're here to do a job, but you all do it, and you all do it well, and you all do it with commitment, respect, dedication, and perseverance. So we thank you all so very much. I've attended a lot of meetings, a lot of activities and things that have happened here in the town this year. So I just want to want the residents to stay safe, to stay hydrated, and to also know that we are here for you all. We did have another one of our community meetings this past Saturday that was attended. So we had some things that, some follow-up items that came out of our community meetings. So we are here for the community. We will continue to listen to the community. We will continue to work with the community. And it's our hope that the community continues to work with us as well, because the council members, we live here in this town as well. So it's not like we pack up and we go, we go home somewhere else. So we live in this town as well, and we want all of our residents to be safe. And we also wanted to thank our police department, because we actually, we do have a very awesome police department. As I say, we live here. We raising our families here. We go to sleep here at night, and so we do want to thank our police department for doing a wonderful job in serving and protecting, and also. Once again, congratulations to you, Mayor James, on your presidency with MML, and I'm sure that it's going to be a very exciting time for you this year. Let us know what you need. To be here to support, and then once again, happy 250th anniversary.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown.
Thank you so very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Have a safe summer. Be safe. Stay hydrated.
Yes, please.
All right. Over to you, Councilmember Dixon, also for Ward 1.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, residents. First, I want to start off by saying congratulations to our Mayor James on rising to MML president. Congratulations. Wish you all the best in that new role. I know you're going to do great. All right, let me get into my.
Yes, the top.
Okay. Okay, let me get into my. Okay. So first, I attended the MML conference and also the CRF meeting. At the CRF meeting, they provide an update on the current infectious disease threat that included the Ebola rising that's going on now, the outbreak. I attend the county executive and municipal mayor's meeting where you provide updates from your town and the issues that the town is facing and what we need help with. 4th of July celebration, I attend that as well. It was a great event. I just want to say thanks to the staff for putting it together. I sat on the Bladensburg meeting just in support to our residents. Also, I attend the MML committee orientation. I am a MML engagement and outreach committee member now. The COG meeting, my community walk, just to hear what resident has to say, their concerns. And also meeting with myself and Mayor James, meeting with Mr. Martin Cruz on the issues of ICE that is present in our community. Thank you. Sean, I gave you back some time.
A whole minute. Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. Now we'll transition to Ward 2, beginning with Councilmember Carol McBride.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to our Bladensburg Fire Department. I experienced something during the 4th of July event of heat exhaustion. Never experienced it in my life. And just so happened that somebody took notice that I didn't look right, and they pulled me inside. And just so happened that, what's our chief, fire department chief? Sumner. Chief Sumner was right there, and then he had the other ones to come in and put ice packs on me. So I'm truly grateful for that, because I never experienced and didn't know what it felt like. But I was glad people were alert. And let's see, I attended the, well, I was late attending, but the Little Police Cadets award ceremony. And I did go in, I had the opportunity to what am I getting tongue-tied? Congratulate them. I also was asked by, and I want to say that Pastor Rouse, Theodore Rouse, who moved his church to the Salvation Army, well, he moved back to Bladensburg, to the Word of God Church, with his grandfather, where he originally belonged. And so I want to say thank you and welcome back, Pastor Rouse. He also had a prayer breakfast with Councilmember Blunt's residents, and he asked me to come as the church mother. So I did attend, and only to visit. Didn't have any words to say. And so I'm just grateful for what I'm allowed to do in the town of Bladensburg. Thank you, Mayor James. Congratulations. Thank you. On your position. I'm just glad to be here. Glad I'm at the end of the year. Have a safe summer, everyone, and enjoy yourself. Please stay safe.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Councilmember McBride, for your report. Now we'll continue with Ward 2 with Councilmember Blunt.
Hello. Well, first I'd like to thank the officers for coming into the Emerson House building and arresting someone who just got out the next day when he got arrested. But I know they did their job. It's the courts have to do better. And I'm working on that. I'm also working on, what is that thing called? Squatters. Okay. That thing is unreal. So I'll be going into the court system to find out how that operates and bring that back to department heads in Bladensburg and to any other building, because having squatters, because we have two. And unfortunately, management companies lose money and the whole 9 yards, but I will be doing my study on that squatter thing and bringing that back so that we'll know how to be aware and how not to get played and victimized, and mainly it's family members a lot of times. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. Also, I finally finalized the department heads that I would like to come out to Bladensburg and talk to the seniors about issues that they're dealing with when trying to get services from the departments that is put there to help them. Poor service. We have poor service in PG County, and sorry, I must say, to help seniors is very poor, and they need the help. Other than that, I graduated. I passed all my classes, and not passed, but MML. So we'll be graduating later on. So I'm really excited about that, and I think I really like to say thank you to my job for allowing me to come in and work, and now I'm in a position into politics. Me and politics, wow. But again, thank. But I mean, that's all I have to say. I know this is in the summer. I understand the heat exhaustion. It happens to many people. You don't know that it's going to happen, but just be careful and drink plenty of water. Also, I have not seen ice myself. I have not witnessed anything, but perception is everything, and everybody's perceptions are different. So if we lollygagging out there with someone we potentially think is out here to harm our residents in any kind of way, yeah, we would probably think it, but allow people to have what their perceptions are, and also bring it back to the council. As you can see, that they're already meeting with officials pertaining to ICE and what they're here for. My grandson works for Homeland Security office. I called him and asked how did that work, and unfortunately they have rights too, and hopefully they're not here harming anyone. But again, and we hoping that I don't know how it works, but like the mayor, I trust that they're working with officials to try to see how we can. Did that thing ring on me? Oh, I'm sorry. But again, but yeah, I'm real sorry. But everybody have a job to do. But I hope they do it. Respect, just keeping respect, and perception again is everything, and everybody's perceptions are different. And again, when you hear from us again, I'll be seeing the seniors at the senior gathering. Again, Ray Jeffrey is putting together. I took that 110, but the senior gathering is September. So again. Are they playing the music for me? Okay, I'm done. Thank you. That's you. Oh, that's you, Mr. Weiss. Okay,
Mr. Weiss, wow.
Okay.
He played the music. Oh, man. Oh, man, we're in trouble.
Mr. Weiss, when you come back, that's why you come back. Okay. All right.
He brings the music.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Councilmember Blunt. I will try to be brief as well. June was a very busy month. I have my full written report there. The bulk of it focuses on a lot of meetings that took place during MML and prior to. But one thing I want to call out is the Prince George's Gateway Development Authority. We did meet in June. Bladensburg hosted. Senator Augustine was here, and so was Delegate Ivy. And we've had some leadership changes within the authority, and so it's just really important for us to understand. While we're codified, just like West, North, and Baltimore, we have some very distinct differences. And so state funding has been issued to the authority. However, we don't have the same level of decision-making as the authority in Baltimore. And that is not to put our legislators down. It's just the reality of how they constructed that law. And so as such, we just needed to do some level setting with expectations to show that we will make decisions in accordance with what our authority is. We can't be looked at and judged by the West North development. But for those who aren't aware, that money is really to help us revitalize these inner Beltway communities that tend to get less of the state funding. And so I think that's going to be a huge help to us. Jumping to MML really quickly, was honored to become president during the closing session. But one of the honors that the administration extends is you get a sort of closed door meeting with the governor. And so during that time, as I mentioned earlier, there were a range of issues that we covered, ICE also being one of them, because we know that he is not on our president's favorite list, and as such, that puts Maryland in a certain category. And my best advice is we will do what we can, but the reality is midterms matter. Elections have consequences, and if you really want to change this, then you need to show up and vote come November, because that is how you shift this. It's a federal issue that's becoming a local issue, and we can't solve it all on our own. I do want to call out some of the things that Comptroller Learman shared with us, and I think it's important to note. She has totally transformed that comptroller's office and has reconstructed the unclaimed property program. And because of her leadership, $121 million has been returned to its rightful owners. If you are in the state of Maryland and you think you might have money out there that's been left to you and you need help claiming it, that website is www.claimitmd.gov. And you need to really go on there to see, what resources may have been left to you or a family member. Throughout the event, it was great to have visibility, not just from the governor, but the lieutenant governor and the cabinet secretaries. And so there were some tremendous conversations that I think are going to help us on all of our fronts, from Boswick House to the Municipal Center. So I just look forward to the follow-up that comes from there. And really quick, Mayor Privilege, I noticed the handout that was supposed to be attachment number 1 didn't come through, so I'll reprint that for the council. But it's the civility pledge from National League of Cities. So their board signed the civility pledge for a code of conduct for how we treat each other as elected officials, how we engage respectfully. And so I do want to encourage the council to read the pledge. I printed copies when I realized it wasn't here, and I'll give them to you after the meeting. But I think we should talk about this at the board retreat and sign on to it as a public stance for how we're going to not just treat each other, but how we're going to conduct ourselves as community leaders. So with that, that concludes my report. Again, it's written and included with the staff reports. That brings us to the end of our agenda for tonight. Council, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions before we adjourn?
I have a comment. I just want to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to say thanks to the police department. I had a break-in at my house. It's a car that was broke into my driveway. And I didn't call 911. We called straight to Bladensburg Police Station, and they came in less than like a minute and, took care of it. Chief got all the videos and stuff. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Sean, for getting that raccoon out the street.
Thank you for those comments. So with that, council, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? No nays. We're adjourned. See you all in September. Happy summer.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks.